Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Depending on where you are in this world, God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the New Jerusalem Holy Bible. We are in the book of Ecclesiasticus, and we're going to read about Elijah here in chapter 48. Then the prophet Elijah arose like a fire, his word flaring like a torch. If he who brought famine on them, it was he who brought famine on them, and decimated them in his zeal for the Lord. By the word of the Lord he shut up the heavens. 3 times also he brought down fire. How glorious you were in your miracles, Elijah! Has anyone reason to boast as you have, rousing a corpse from death, from Sheol, by the word of the Most High, dragging kings down to destruction, and high dignitaries from their beds, hearing a rebuke on Sinai, and decrees of punishment on Horeb, anointing kings as avengers, and prophets to succeed you, taken up in the whirlwind of fire, in a chariot with fiery horses, designated in the prophecies of doom, to ally God's wrath before the fury breaks, to turn the hearts of fathers toward their children, and to restore the tribes of Jacob. Blessed those who will see you, and those who have fallen asleep in love, for we too shall certainly have life. God took Elijah. He was transferred or transitioned to heaven without dying here on earth. One of only 2 men who have ever experienced that, the first being Enoch, and then here Elijah. And in this verse right here, let's see. Okay, in verse 10 it says, designated in the prophecies of doom, to ally God's wrath before the fury breaks. To ally God's wrath before the fury breaks. This is the first time, other than just knowing that Enoch and Elijah were taken alive into heaven, that gives me reason to believe I'm right on when I say that Elijah and Enoch will be the 2 witnesses in the end times. Because here it says, designated in the prophecies of doom, to ally God's wrath before the fury breaks. God's wrath when it's poured out in the vials in the final days, to turn the hearts of fathers toward their children, and to restore the tribes of Jacob. Blessed those who will see you, and those who have fallen asleep in love, for we too shall certainly have life. And we know that the 2 witnesses come down and testify to the people that are here remaining on the earth after the rapture, after the church has been taken out. And here is just another confirmation that after the rapture, that salvation is still available to man, as it's being God's will, that none should be lost. And so we're seeing here that the 2 prophets are going to come before the doom, and he's going to be preaching, him and Enoch, and they're going to be there, and they're going to be able to hurt anyone with whatever they try to hurt them with, and to bring whatever plagues they wish on men in those days. And then when Satan comes, he's going to overcome him. He's going to kill them. They're going to lie in the street. If you're immortal already in heaven, you couldn't possibly be killed by Satan. But being they are still in their mortal bodies, having been transitioned into heaven alive as humans, then coming back, then they could be killed. And so when Satan killed them, they laid in the streets there for 3 days. And they didn't let them be buried. And all the people of the world were so happy. They were sending gifts to one another because these two prophets who kept torturing them and tormenting them had died. And then on the 3rd day, a voice from heaven said, "Rise up, come up here." And they stood on their feet and went up into the sky, into heaven, back into heaven. And it's just amazing. The way that the Bible is woven together is this beautiful tapestry. Some people ignore the Old Testament, but there is so much richness in the history of God and the people on this earth. And the people in the Old Testament were the Jews that he took as his own people, a peculiar people, who also Christ became a stumbling block before them, opening up the gift of salvation to the Gentiles. And as always, I love you. Have a blessed day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are.